Right. Great. Let's go. Let's see. Great. Very strange today. Okay. Right. Right. Onegaishimasu.
Onegaishimasu.
Right, great. I'll just loosen a little bit. Up and down. Okay, a little bit front and back. The sides. And rotating. Okay, and opening, closing. I just release that head a little bit, side to side. Looking left to right. Up and down. Rolling it around, rolling the chin around. One way. And change. And rolling it front and back. And then change that wave, roll it up that way. One. Great. Roll out the shoulders. Change direction. At the elbows. Change direction. And the wrists. That way. And change direction. Good. Rolling the hips. And change direction. Right, bending the knees. And circling them. And change direction. Right, bending down. Right, stretching back. And down. And coming back. Okay, roll at the ankles. And change direction. Just bring the toes up, just folding and pressing them out. Curling. Right. With the other ankle, the other ankle. And change direction. And folding and folding the feet, toes. A little bit. Great. We'll take a little bit of foundation work. So this one, just take a little bit of a wide leg. It's really difficult. I can't show the feet with this. I just show the feet first. So we'll bring the breath in to really start with the breath in a sense. So what I want you to do, we'll link the breath and all the movements together. So what I want you to do is as you take a breath in, just raise the big toe out of the ground. Don't worry if the others come out of the ground as well. And then as you breathe out the breath, it's a relaxing breath like all kind of breaths, but also think about it lengthening, keeping that, maintaining the length through the body as well. So as you breathe out, just feel that you press the big toe into the ground and you spread the little toe away as well. So it's not that you're trying to pull the foot apart, it's just that you're trying to really settle and anchor the body into the ground. So just play with this kind of breathing, nice deep breath in, pull the rib cage long, wide, pull the elbows wide if you like, so just to increase it, pull the big toe up. And then as you breathe out, settle the feet down, the toes especially. Feel the pressure in all those 3 points of contact, the back of the heel, the back heel, and then the base of the big toe, and the outside edge of the little toe as you do it. Let's just do a few nice deep breath in. Pull the toes up, especially the big toe. And as you breathe out, nice, relaxing, deep, heavy breath down. And And just one more. Pull the toes up. Breathe out. Lengthen the spine, heavy in the lower body there. Yeah, and then we'll just take it into a wide wind position. A little bit of a hinge back with the hip. Nice deep breath in. And then as you breathe out, just reach the hands forwards, hinge the hips back a little bit. And as you come back, nice long breath in. There. Nice long breath in. And then one more. We're just going to hold that front position. So find the back. Come into it. Settle into that position a little bit. A nice deep breath. Feel that the breath is really widening the shoulders. So pulling all the chest wide. And then again, as you breathe out, feel the weight settle in. And maintain the length through the back. Just first thing is just check the neck. So the sense that the back of the neck's really pulled long and not kind of pulled getting out or kind of squeezed forward. So just feel that the neck is pulling a little bit like it's pulling away from the fingers. And use the breath expansion to just pull the neck a little bit longer. And one more breath. Just allow yourself to come back, to release the shoulders out a little bit. We'll go into that position now, but what I want you to think is it almost like you've got a book in between the armpit. So like you're trying to, as if you're squeezing a book between the shoulders. So rather than going like that, where the book would fall out from the armpit, think that you're actually squeezing the armpits towards the chest, right? It's like this. So as you go into this now, just find that wide position. Now you're going to breathe into that position. So use the breath and feel it as if the elbows are kind of hugging around the rib cage, this kind of feeling. And at the same time, ribs coming back. So it's not quite that you're squeezing a book between the armpits, but it's useful enough as an image. The kind of view. So pull into it. And as you find that, just pull yourself back out with the out breath. Pull yourself long. Breathe big into it. Feel that kind of tension on what you're trying to do is really activate the lats in the lower back, and then breathe out of it. And then now when you do this, just take it a little bit deeper each time to let the hips come a little bit further back, knees release a little bit further, and just check again the neck is still long as you do it. So very easy now to do this kind of thing where the head starts to dip through. So as you go into it, nice deep breath in, reach the hips a little bit further back, reach the hands a little bit further forward, and then pull yourself back out of it, trying to maintain again that sense that you're activating the lats, and a little bit like you kind of squeeze something between the armpits. And as you come out of it, breathe yourself big up. Again, the breath's lengthening and also grounding you down. Just do a few in your own time. Follow your own breath. And just make it big, expansive as you do it. Just take a look. That's it. Great. Perfect. Very nice. Okay, great. Okay, cool. Great. And then we'll just take it through into the hinge. So you're going to find that position, come out. Keep that sense that you're kind of shrugging the shoulders down. So you don't want to raise them up, but as you raise the arms up now, allow them to kind of scoop up. So like you're spiraling from the little finger, letting the thumb spiral up. So you're rolling the hands up. Hips might reach back a little bit further. That's good. Take a nice deep breath in this position. Hold it. Check the neck's nice and long again. You don't want the neck kind of jutting up. Chin jutting out. Pull the chin back a little bit. Chest's nice and long. Reach up a little bit higher, a little bit further. And then the next out breath, just allow the spine to start to come down, the arms lower, hands just fall down towards the ground, just fingertip contact, and just release the upper back, the upper spine. You'll see all your thoracic spine. Let it curl. Just take a nice Couple of deep breaths here. Again, the breath to expand the rib cage. Breath out to release, lengthen, and ground the body in the feet. The next in-breath, allow yourself to come to the shin bone with the hands. Pull the back nice and long. Again, chin pulled back a little bit, neck, back of the neck long. And then feel the weight again as you breathe out in the feet. Butt muscles activate, pull yourself up nice and tall. Right, just shake it out a little bit. Just release all the tension in the body. You feel any, especially the shoulders. Great. We'll do a kind of simple one in a sense, but quite a nice one. It's going to involve this kind of position. There's going to be two positions. So one of them, but they both involve the elbows basically being together. The idea is to use this position to try and force the rib cage to start to open. So what we're going to do is find we'll do quite a long, not too long, but quite a long lunge. So I'm going to show the feet first, and then I'll kind of take it up a little bit. Key with all the lunges here is let both feet, both toes, especially the back foot, go forward. So the tendency is always for that foot to go out, especially for us Aikido people as well. So feel that your hips are really straight, square on, both toes pointing forward, and just sit into it. Now just notice the difference between sitting into it like this way, where I'm kind of like this, and slightly pulling the rib cage up. So I don't want to be kind of floating off the ground, but I want to be slightly pulling the hips up. So this kind of feeling. Again, just do a couple of deep breaths in. Feel that weight's even across the feet. And the back foot, you want it to be like I am. Let's see, it's as if I'm trying to reach the ground with the back foot rather than the foot coming up like that. Like that. You want to feel it, you're like I'm trying to reach the back foot into the ground without actually getting there. And if with this long lunge, you probably struggle to get the heel down. But anyway, just a few deep breaths here. Again, neck nice and long, hips kind of pulled up slightly. And then that. And then just from here, just use the hands. You're just going to take them so that they're on the side of the hips. Nice deep breath in. Breathe out. I'm going to start to find this position. So we'll do two positions with this. The first one is you're going to bring the arms across the body, fingertips touch, and you're going to bring the elbows together as they come to the front and reach out, as if you're doing handing someone a plate very strangely. So you've got a big plate and you're kind of handing it forwards here. Key being that you're going to pull the elbows so that they touch and make contact together. So, and just come in and out of this position. So find that position, and then as you breathe out, release the arms back and feel that you're kind of rolling the arms around the rib cage again. So the in-breath is going to expand open the rib cage as you pull the arms across, forwards, spread the fingertips a little bit, just hold it for an in-breath, and then pull it back for the out-breath. So you're breathing into it. Hold it, take a deep breath out. Hold it in breath. And then use the next out breath to pull yourself back out. Yeah, and just go at your own pace with it. Just give it a try. Just that one side. So you're really trying to draw the elbows together. Oh, difficult with weights, right? Tricky. Nice, great. Okay, and then the next one we'll go to. This is a little bit of a harder position. This one's the start because it's very easy to do this and keep the shoulders shrugged down. Now this one's slightly hard. You're going to bring the hands together and you do this position. So this one's very easy for the shoulders to start to rise up. So it's almost kind of natural for them to do it. So keep that sense that as you do this one, come into this position and feel that the shoulders can really shrug down. And again, to activate all this part of the body. And again, you're squeezing the elbows together. And really in this one, you can really do this position, really splay the fingers away from each other. So the same thing, you can go to this position and then come up, or you can just feel that if you feel like it, go straight up to this position. Same feeling, breathing your way into it. Take a deep breath in the position. And then just breathe your way out of it. In the breath, allow it to kind of release and lower the body basically. So again, allowing the arms to come around. They're going to touch and really shrug the shoulders down. Spread the fingertips, press the forearms, the elbows together. Good. And the other thing here is just as you go into that position, allow yourself to kind of scissor the posture together. So the feeling as you come back into posture is rather than release it, feel that you're actually pulling the legs together. So you're scissoring the legs this way. This one's slightly pulling back and this one's kind of pulling forward. So the back hip's going to start to scissor towards the center of the body and the front hip is going to start to scissor towards the center of the body. So you've got this motion and that's creating this tensioning line through the body. And as you release it, keep that tension, don't release it back out. So just feel that kind of anchor in the ground, anchor in the legs, scissoring towards the center line. Great, got it. Very nice. Okay, great. And then we'll just do the same on the other side. So just come back out of it. The other leg forward. It's my right leg. Again, quite a wide lunge. Sit into it a little bit and then feel that you've got slightly raised out of the hips up. Pull the neck long. And then we'll just go straight into it. So the first one, breathing out, reaching out as if you're kind of handing a big plate or dish towards. And then breathe your way out of it. Breathe your way into it. Hold it if you like for a breath, or just breathe your way out of it. And the elbows kind of roll around the body, around the torso, and then maintain that expansion through the shoulders. Shoulders shrug down towards the back. And again, thinking about that scissoring towards the center with the legs. Just do the reach out. Good. It's like a very, very narrow Tanahenko position. But I want the shoulders really to be not in these kind of positions. Shrug it back and the shoulders wide. And then we'll go into the high position. So again, you can either come to that position, find the hands, roll the hands up, or if you feel like it, just go straight into it. But again, the key is let's kind of roll underneath, very much like a kind of bowling koku kind of movement, but focusing on expanding the body, the chest, the torso with the breath. And you allow yourself to scissor the contact into the ground as you come into it. After that. Great. Very nice. Right. Okie dokie. We'll just do one more work. If you've got the right leg forward, keep the right leg forward. We'll just do this one-sided. It's quite a nice one. We're going to do sword work, obviously. So we're this one quite easily relates to sword work for us. So it's a shoulder trace, but it goes into a sphere of tension through the front. So we've done that, I think, the shoulder trace before, where you kind of come up, you come around, and then you draw the shoulder, draw this back down. This one's going to go as around in a circle, really, like an arc away from the body. So I'll do again with the right leg forward. So you want the thumbs just on the side of the hip, of the thigh bone, just that, and find that same position so you've got a nice long torso, hips kind of square on. You're going to trace them up in the in-breath. The thumbs just trace up across the body, the elbows raise, reach the arms across the back, fingertips together. And then the out-breath, you're going to squeeze the elbows up, project them out, and then just draw them back around. So you do a big arc around the body. So thumbs come back, trace up the body with the in-breath. Big, 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 big expansive movement. Find the back, fingertips touch, and then squeeze them over. And out with the out breath. Thumbs find the thigh bone, trace them up. All the time also thinking about scissoring the contact into the ground as well. Squeeze it out with the out breath and just follow your own breath and body as you do it. Go to your own pace. And squeeze it out over the top. Great, keep going, just a couple more. Nice big movement of the shoulder. That's it, great. Very nice. Okay, great. Very nice. Great. Okay, we'll just do one more. So it's also, this one's also really for the spiral in the body. So there's quite a few spiral positions obviously in foundation training, but we'll just do a kind of simple one in the sense. You just want go into a kind of wide leg position, settle into it. So you're just going to play with the hip and the hand. So in a way, quite a loose one. We'll do this to finish with this, and then we'll go to the bukkén, which is think about the hips and the hands working together. So in this case, I'm going to draw the hip back, and I'm just going to reach the hand out and think about kind of spiraling through the center line, and then just taking it one side here, and then just reach it back. You can do one side with it this way, or you can mix in both. You can do either you on one side, you on the other, but just really feel that the tendency is the hand does it, and then the hip tries to react to it. Really feel that the hip is going to pull, and the hand spirals away and out. So you're looking for basically this. One way to check this is also use the opposite hand that you're not using, just to find that hip crease and allow that pressure of the hip to go back, and that's what reaches the hand out as you come forward. And you're spiraling through the center line, but just offsetting it with that hip motion, the body. If I start here, basically reach through the center line and then allow it to just gently reach away from the center line, but keeping that all contact in the ground and allowing the palm to really rotate again. Look at the little finger is spiraling through. Great. That's it. Good. And done. Okay, great. And the last week, just do this in a little bit more of a kind of an explosive way. So the out breath's going to be a little bit sharper, and then back, and then back. So do this also with the hands. I'm going to pull the hands wide this way, and then I'm going to just release the breath out one way, and then draw myself back. So you can play a little bit with the breath and where it kind of, how it links to the movement. So you can use the out breath to kind of draw yourself back. You can use it to pull the arm out, but it's just, again, this idea that the breath is also able to change, and it's going to change the quality of the movement as well. And you can do this really like a kind of punching movement, or you can do it as a reaching movement, but you can also see that as a kind of pull back as well. So we've got, see all these movements, if you think about striking work or weapon work that we do, but really using the breath to change the quality of the movement as well. The out breath definitely rooting the body. So that sense that the breath out is not releasing the body from the ground. It's really releasing you down, releasing you down. And just play with bigger spirals if you feel comfortable. You can take it really any direction if you want. That's great. We'll just do a few more. Good, great. Very nice, perfect. Okay, just shake out the arms a little bit. Shake out the hips. With them, to release all that out. Roll the shoulders a little bit. And the neck. Great. Okay, super. Take a bukkén. We will continue. Good. Great. We'll go straight into a Zengo. So what we were looking at yesterday, we'll try and go a bit deeper into that as well. So just going straight into it, front and back. Nice, full, heavy cuts. You do it. Good. Great. Nice. Okay, we'll play a little bit with the breath. So I'm always careful with the breath, especially with 𝗧𝗪𝗏, because you actually want the breath work to be natural. It really needs to follow the rhythm, and that's always going to change. So there's not like one breath that you can use which is going to fit all the situation. And I think it's actually not necessarily a good skill to link concretely the breath to a movement, although it has its uses obviously, and there's obviously different lots of traditions where that is the case and lots of movements where that is the case, but it's not always the best thing to do, I don't think, and especially in terms of 𝗧𝗪𝗏 and weapon work. So, but in this case, just play with one thing, which is as you raise the sword, think of this as an out breath, because you, in this case, think of this as an in breath. This is the problem. We get confused with it. Think of this as an in breath, but it's one that's going to expand open. And again, as you go into the draining down, let the breath really ground you into the body. There as well. Let the breath ground you into the cup. Yeah. So you raise. The main problem with our is also we breathe quite poorly in a way. Me too, totally. So when we breathe in, we do like, and then we breathe out, we do this kind of stuff. And that breath's really useless in terms of functional skills, and especially martial arts. That kind of breathing is kind of really bad. So think as you breathe in and you do this, it's a really natural thing to happen actually, that this expands and that the breath actually will sink the body down. And then as you go into the curve, allow the breath to again root the body down and maintain the extension through the core as you do it. So just experiment with it a little bit. The idea is actually like the point where the breath actually doesn't matter. It's just going to fit with the body, but just nice sometimes to really check what is actually happening with the breath. So the first stage usually with all breath work is actually just notice what's happening already naturally. What am I actually doing? Let's say normally rather than naturally. What am I doing normally with the breath? Just figuring out what that is, and then seeing if you can maybe slightly adjust the breath in a way where it's going to be a bit more suited to the movement that we're doing. But I should really have the ability to adjust the breath according to the situation. But Whoa. Great. Nice. So we'll try and look at number 3, the third 𝗧𝗪𝗡, but we'll do it at the end in a sense, because in where it places in our 𝗧𝗪𝗡 set is in a way, it's training also a different skill in terms of that breath work as well. So it's a bit odd that it's actually in that position. So I don't want to change the position of it, but today we'll do it at the end. But just go now to 𝘥𝘢𝘦𝘢. So just play that. You can do it on the spot. This way, you can do it with the step. But the key thing is just notice what's happening with the breath as well as you do this. The big one to notice is whether am I holding the breath? Is nothing actually happening in the breath, and I'm just doing a kind of body movement, and nothing's actually happening with the breath. So the first thing is actually just notice, am I actually breathing? Which is always a good good thing to actually go through. Am I actually breathing within the movement? If I'm holding through it, might not be the best thing to do when you're doing sword work. Just notice what's happening with the breath as you go into movement. We've done these movements enough to make them, I don't really need to think about them. I can go to other places with what I'm doing. Just notice the breath as you do it. So big, full, powerful cuts. Oh. Oh. Give it a try. Very good. Right. Okay, take it to number 6. So just play with variations of it. You can obviously do this like Zengo. So number 6 is, if you've not got the space, you can do it on the spot. Play with the ski off it, or you can do it like a Zengo. Or if you've really got the space, you can do it as if where we would do the basic 𝗧𝗪𝗡, which is with the step and the thrust and the step and the thrust, and you rotate at the back end. Oh, a nice, strong, powerful cuts. Nice, strong, powerful thrust as you do it. Working both sides. Yeah. And again, just notice the breath. Notice whether I am breathing. Does the breath feel comfortable? Okay. Bless you. Nice, nice. Very good, very good, very good, very good. Take it to number 7. So just working again, right side in this case, left side, spiral into the ski. Again, just work it however you can in your space, or however you like. You can do like a Zengo, nice short form. You can work it just on the spot. It's a really nice form to do, especially for hip work. Just working right side cut, left side thrust, right side cut, left side thrust. But you can do it with the basic form that we have with the 𝗧𝗪𝗏, which is with the step. Yeah, if you have the space. Yeah. Whoosh. Be a nice big powerful cut there and powerful thrust in as you do it. Good strong focus. And you just go into it, just notice again the breath, what's happening there. How does it feel with the body and the movement? Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Great.
Michael?
Yeah, sure, Bernie.
Is this also the situation where your vocal out breath will help you in finding the connection between strike and, at least for me it does. Let me put it this way.
Sure. I mean, it's like, I was looking at this also yesterday. I always think about ki in a sense, like ki as a word, as a meaning, and how do we use it and how do we think about it? I mean, for us, ki is very, like, in a sense, it's synonymous with like shouting, right? That is ki, right, for us. But like, if you go to other traditions in Japan, like especially the obvious one's the Kyudo tradition, right? In Japan, they talk about ki. They talk about the idea of ki, and they say like, you know, you don't have ki when you do it, but they're not screaming, right, when they do the shot. I mean, you look at them when they're doing practice, right, and it's silent, right? There's no noise at all. So, but they're talking about the same thing, which is this like focusing of energy and all that is the part of the ki, right? But then when you see them do let's say their actual practice, when they do these long runs on the back of a horse and they run like full speed down and they shoot the target, then they shout, right? They shout all the way down the run with like, ah! all the way down, right? So then they really do ki. For us, then now you're doing ki, right? But they're doing it all the time. They're training with, but I say for us, it's like also we use that as a feedback thing, right? So the vocalization is used as a feedback, like, and the ki for us, or this sense that the vocalization isn't in the throat, right? Like this thing that I'm doing, like that's all like throat work. So it's like, it's this the feeling really that it is coming from here, and it's like the best thing I got, or the best analogy from that, like this sense that it's bubbling up right from here and then coming out with it. And Japanese, all the ki when they vocalize it, it's always like vowel sounds, right? It's always those, and the Japanese is quite like a guttural language anyway, right? So it comes from there naturally, like with that kind of voice. So I would say I use it as feedback, right? But again, it's like I don't want to link the idea of shouting to a sword cut, right? Yeah, it's not. Shouting's not necessary to generate power, right? Otherwise, you'd see like a boxing match where they were like rah, 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 all the time, right? You don't see that, right? And you see quite a lot of times someone that generates power is silent, right? But so I use it as, yeah, I use it like feedback, right? So it will tell me about how I'm using the breath. So if you go to that day where you are vocalizing your intention or your structure, and it will tell you a lot about how you are using it, right? So it's used like a tool. So it's but it's like tools are necessary to use, and then you drop them and all that kind of stuff, right? So it's very useful, and really useful when you don't have people that you might wake up in the house. You're in the middle of a countryside and you can really scream with it and shout. But I think there's a really old documentary. I'll share it. The full thing is there. But when you see these guys really go for it, they really are using the voice. Like it's part of the thing, right, when they do it, and it's just part of the Japanese tradition that when they do it, really that. You see all this kind of vocalization stuff, but it happens naturally. It's like you don't need to think about it. It just kind of comes out, right? So yeah, I would say it's basically used like a feedback tool. But that's how I use it in a sense. So.
Yeah, and if I understand correctly, it was taken out by the Hombo Dojo because people were complaining in Tokyo that they were shouting, and that is the reason why the majority of styles don't have any ki in there anymore.
Right.
They don't know the reason.
Yeah, it's also the same. I mean, if you come to Montreal's the same because it's residential area. We train at night, so we're training at like 10 o'clock. We can't be in the dojo screaming, banging sticks and screaming to like it's gonna piss people off, right?
Yeah. And especially if you have windows open and everything. If you have a closed sporting area, then well.
But I could still do ki in that sense, right? But if I don't see ki's, that I see ki as shouting. But people, so we do have people that come to the dojo who are ki is vocalization, right? And then when they come to the dojo, their power's gone because they can't scream they can't shout as they do. So they've linked the vocalization to power, to the idea of power. But it's not right. I should be able to do it under any certain, which is breath as well. It's that kind of, what would you do if you can't breathe during it? Like now what? Now what are you going to do? Like martial arts always work on that kind of idea, right? What if there is a situation where you can't? What are you going to do now? But yeah, I think that's a bit of a misunderstanding, especially in our style. Like, but in the sense that if you don't do ki at all, if you don't do any vocalization, you miss something from the training, right? Because it should come out naturally. But anyway, we have another one. Let's see where we are. What time we are? Okay, great. So we'll do the third 𝗧𝗪. So third 𝗧𝗪 we'll go to. So this is about the only time I've got a chance to do this. So short bokken, quite high ceiling. So give yourself really time to do this. So there's obviously a few ways with the feet. We'll do the basic 𝗧𝗪 form where you roll the hip back, you reach up, and you bring the sword right up to the vertical. And realize you have to open this out. So this is the big in breath. And also there's all these all the teachings in my sense of this idea of like you're draining the piercing the heavens and letting it to draw down the sword and all that kind of thing. But the key thing is there's that sense that it's a big opening, expansive breath through the center line. Allow it to be big, and then as you draw down, opening the hips out, slightly drawing the sword to the back here. That's this compressive part of the movement. And then you're releasing it above the center line, stepping through and finding the cut. Now, as I advise, when we do the 𝗧𝗪, you're doing a big in breath, you're doing the hold, you're doing the out breath. Take a natural breath as you come back into kamae. So there'll be a little bit of breath out, there'll be a little bit of breath left as you do the cut. Allow that to leave the body, and then as you come back into kamae, just find the kind of natural breath. So you don't want to go into like a Wim Hof hyperventilation. Definitely not correct for sword work, but you'll know more.
You can just walk outside and you can practice now.
Yeah, go outside.
Everyone dressed like they are, just walk outside.
So don't go to hyperventilation. Go with it, but take your time with it. But it's really a full breath in and really link to the movement totally. Compressive down, let it settle, and then reach out. Let it express out. And so this one always made me laugh because people don't do any ki, vocalization ki in any of the 𝗧𝗪 apart from number 3. I don't know why. I don't know how that came into the system. But anyway, it's one of those things. But 3 is one of those. We'll just kind of start to come out. But we'll just play with a few deep breath in, reaching. Oh, don't hit the light. Let's really take your time with this one. Right. I just get a few pointers with this, but they're all basically about how the spine is aligning to the neck. One of the problems people have with is what to do with the neck or what to do with the head as you do this. So one of the things that comes up quite often is I'm in this position and I need to basically maintain this contact. So I end up doing something like this, and the head all the way through. The spine's doing these opening, and the head gets a lot of tension through it. It feels actually very uncomfortable to do it. Now, it's not that I want to lose that direction. So I don't want to do something like this. So I don't want to really like turn away from that. But I want to let the spine guide the head. So if you think as the spine goes into this rotation movement, I'm going to let the head just follow that path of the spine. So it follows it. You can keep the vision there. So I don't really ever lose that front vision, the front focus. But it's not the focus point. It's not the only focus point. So the key with this, especially 𝗧𝗪𝗡, you're going to follow the hip, reach it up. Now, as you align the hip back, your front hip is also aligning forward. So that allows the spine to go into that position and allows the head to basically follow again. So as you find that second, as you go into the second position, allow the head to really coil back towards that front position. And now that becomes my focal point. So all the body's aligned to the target basically. And then I release down with the hip. Yes. So as you go through that position, just listen to what the spine's doing and where I'm aligning the movement to, especially that second position. Just feel where you're basically finding the target, basically. In this case, be a point on the wall. You can be an imaginary person, but just notice what's happening basically within the spine. Same time, just allow yourself to keep that breath work going. Really take your time with this. No rush at all with this movement. Great. Okay, great. And the last couple, find the third 𝗧𝗪𝗡, and then just allow yourself to go into a few other 𝗧𝗪𝗡. So just allow yourself to kind of find another. When you feel you kind of getting distracted or whatever, or you just lose the connection, come back into the third 𝗧𝗪𝗡 again. So use it as a kind of starting point for a set of 𝗧𝗪𝗡, basically. So down. Release it and then follow it. Reach. And when you feel it's gone, stop it, come back, and start again.
Yeah.
And it's gone. Very nice. Last one, last set. Very nice. Okie dokie. Very nice, Catherine. Good. Okay, good. So if you look at the traditional Aikido books, Side Sensei said this is really a kokyu suburi. So it's really focusing on whole body power, and the special for us kokyu work is really breath work as well. So breath and body work. So it's really in that kind of area. So, and yeah, quite a strange suburi, lots of details with it, but we will try and keep focusing on it a little bit. Here we go. Okay, great. So, domo arigato gozaimasu.
Domo arigato gozaimasu.
Okie dokie. Great.